Welcome everyone, Adam the Woo here, coming to you from the canyons of Southern California. I got my 3D glasses on because today's subject matter coincides with a film, a horror film, that was released in the 3D format. And I'm going to check out the filming locations of Friday the 13th, Part 3. Should probably take these off though because they're very disorienting. Join me, shall you? Starting off on this road where the van pulls down to park in front of Vera's place, looks considerably different. Most of the houses have been torn down and new apartments have been put in their place. But right here is where the kids were playing baseball in the road. Really the only thing from this angle that looks the same is this structure here in the center of your screen. Notice the unique angle of the roof line and the windows still matches up. It's about the only thing in this section that you can kind of compare from then till now. Her house would have been here. It's been torn down, but you can see this building in one of the frames. And as they meandered across the road, those trees and the tree line kinda sorta matches up to what it looked like then. The van would have been parked right down there near that corner, just a few feet back from where this car is now parked between the two trees. In fact, that house back there is the same home. A little bit of growth obviously of the trees over the years, but that's where the van was parked. I should also add in that I don't have any cell phone reception. That should be okay. Maybe. It's also incredibly desolate. The perfect place for terror. The Spunky Canyon Market. Here in Green Valley, this is where the altercation with the bikers happened. The front of the building looks a little bit different, but if you shift over to the left, there are a few structures that still look the same, pictured here. And even this phone booth is still on site. It's interesting to note they kept the same name, just changed the state from New Jersey, even though this is California. Pictured inside, there's even a sign and it states Green Valley has everything including wildlife on the t-shirt. I was hoping they'd have it in here, but they no longer sell them. In fact, they've removed the post office boxes as well. The counter's been reshifted. The whole indoors completely different. It's really hard to match anything up by wandering around in here, but this inside here is where they had the altercation. They built this concrete wall over the years, but this is where the bikes were toppled over. And he was very angry. He started to go after them, but they had other things in mind. They turned the bug around and ran over his motorcycle. I brought my little toy recreation bug to recreate the shot. Nailed it.
During the summertime at night, it just gets filled up with bugs. It's like a attraction for all the bugs, you know, and you can't even get in there and use the phone because the light's on.
So the phone still works?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's always it's an upgraded phone.
That's a movie.
Well, of course, it used to have the old one with the dial, I think, original. Or no, maybe not. No.
That's a piece of movie history right there. As he was yelling at them, as they drove off on the left, there used to be a building over here, and I was informed by the owner that it burned down. The guy at the store said that this actually burned down. That's the sound of the car. Just notice about a block away from the store are the old post office boxes, reshifted between then and now to this area. They're not all here and they're not stacked in the same fashion. But what do you think? I think they're the same ones. Just look at the design of them. Pay close attention and now look at current day. Yeah, I think that's them. At least some of them. Look at that view. There is no guardrail next to the road, so you gotta be very cautious as you drive along this route. Very breathtaking, however. Nice. At first glance, you might think that's Crystal Lake, but rest assured it's not. We're close, but I repeat, that is not. Down there is not Crystal Lake. And speaking of that body of water, it can be seen written on that very sign, which used to sit atop a building that was once right here. The very start of the movie, the couple owned this establishment, and just to the right of the frame is where she had her laundry hung out to dry at night. But there was still laundry hung out to dry. Looks to be some of the foundation still remains. The camera panned by in this fashion, similar to the direction I'm walking. And you can even see this in the movie. This little chunk rock wall here. Part of it's been chipped away. But yeah, at least that remains. One thing that's kind of fascinating, you can match up the formation of how they placed the rocks down in there. Now it's very, very grown over now. In fact, even the ground has raised up considerably. This was much taller. Well, in reality, it's the same height, except the ground, you know, the dirt has piled up over the years. But basically right behind all these weeds is the one angle you can see when you see Voorhees right there in the laundry. It was basically right here. You can match up those rocks. The camera would have been stationed more at this distance, but there you have it. That's what I'm referring to. See his hand there on the left, and there's the rocks I was describing. When the police pulled in, they drove down this incline, and both cars parked somewhere in the vicinity here, just across the roadway from that former building. Overlooking the situation, the van continues to drive along the street on the top of that hill. Look at that sunburst. Nice. Moving along. Nothing to see here. Nothing to see. Man, there's bugs out here. I gotta say, I'm very excited about the next spot. We're en route to Higgins Haven. When they first pull in, the van drives up this hill, the dirt road. You can see the foliage there to the right. All still looks exactly the same. I'm here today with Heath.
What up, what up?
Fellow Friday the 13th fan, and he's standing where the Higgins Haven sign would have been.
Right here.
Right there, you're stanchioned in the spot. As we passed this tree,
Yes, sir.
we're now heading towards where the wooden bridge was. They built this embankment upward, and you can still see some of the concrete pieces. Right here is where the van went over that and towards the homestead.
This header right here, I believe you can see in the film, it's part of the bridge because there's two rails on each side of the bridge as Chris Higgins moves toward the barn.
There was a piece of farm equipment in the frame as well. It would have been right there to the right. And this log almost looks like a dead log. There's just a little chunk left, not the whole thing, just a piece, but laying in the same spot. Found a plank right there, it's teetering, and you can see there's a nail keeping something in place. Oh yeah.
Bridge in place, the giant bolt.
There you go. Yeah, that's a, look at that. Check out that bolt. Concrete foundation here as well. The interesting thing is the road that went over this spot didn't even really need to be here, because there's another road right over there. This was built specifically for the movie. Here's a longer piece. It's been cut off at the end, but it's about the distance, maybe if it went off another foot or two, about where a vehicle could drive across. So you picture an automobile would be just going right along like that over that piece. It's necessary, however, to build the tension later on as the film continues. This bridge will come into play. In 2006, the home they built specifically for Friday 13th Part 3. Burned down. Used to sit right over there. It's very quiet out here. Almost too quiet. Used to be a porch extending out. You see the fireplace there in the distance, and it's still here. It's about the only thing really noticeable. That porch was just a few feet above the ground in this area here. It was made as a two-story structure, but in reality there really wasn't a second floor. There was a spiral staircase right smack dab in the middle there. And a lot of action took place right over here, where there were a few wooden stairs on top of this concrete one, and went into the side door, which was basically used for pretty much every entrance into the home, right about there. And from this angle, you can see that fireplace over there.
One of Jason's best kills is where he grabs the scorching hot poker from this fireplace and jabs it right into the belly of Chili.
Matching up, let's take a look at some of the rocks here on the right and the formation of how they are compared to current day. Yeah, identical. If you look side by side, see the long one there, the top one above it, circular, even this little teeny tiny one in the middle. There it is, the circular one at top, the long one, and teeny tiny one. Always wanted to do this here. Bucket list accomplished. Rick and Chris standing at the base of the stairs, or should I say former stairs. I want you to pay close attention to this indentation on the concrete step right down there. And if I pan back just a little bit, you can see it right here. Look closely. There's that little indentation when they were having a discussion over the top of the automobile. This would have been Rick's last view before his eyeball was popped out of socket by Jason Voorhees, who was perched right here on the wooden stairs. And look very, very closely at these particular rocks. Wooden stair just to the right, and Rick's feet were dangling right in there. In fact, there's those rocks, there's his feet, and there is where the feet were. Holy cow, that's awesome, right? Yeah. When he's carrying off one of the bodies, you see the moose head, and then below the moose head, I love matching this stuff up. So look directly below where the moose head was hanging. Moose head up there. And what I was just showing are these particular formations. And then over here are more that are completely identical. That would be to the left of the moose head, right there. So you look at those 4 or 5 rocks in correlation going upward. And that's them. Wonder whatever happened to that cool moose head. This has sprung up to great heights since then as well. But I was noticing right in here where the porch was, this is where that swing sat. Right in this little cubby hole wedged between that wall and the fireplace. And the porch would have gone straight ahead that way. If you exited the side door and wandered tucked away over here in the corner, directly under this limb was the outhouse. See the way that forks upward? The outhouse would be just to the left of the trunk, right there under that limb. I know what you've been waiting for. That's right. The barn. I have to admit, after seeing this on screen so many times, I'm slightly intimidated and nervous to go in here. You want to do the honors?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my goodness.
Jason's barn.
Wow. And this is the angle when he's looking at them from across the way. He's got the door just barely opened and he's kind of looming. Oh my gosh, that's his view. He's stalking them. Is anyone out there? Don't come in here. Trust me, heed my warning. Do not come in here. He's looming out this very window. Or at least he was looming out this very window. Wait, is there a guy out there walking on his hands? Oh no, just my imagination.
We're getting locked in here like Jason would lock his victims in.
Wait, who? I didn't sanction that idea. The original ladder was right here leading straight up. It has been removed over time to the loft. This is where he was hoisting the hay up from the ground. And then eventually, unbeknownst to him, hoisted Chris up. Oh my goodness. Another fascinating thing is right in here, which is where Fox was embedded with the pitchfork. You can still see the holes where the pitchfork was shoved into the wood.
Wow.
Her neck right there in the middle.
While Loco's dead body was laying right over to the left side with
Yeah.
holes in it from a pitchfork.
He got impaled right in here. And if you match it up, you can see that corner piece there also shown here. So she would have been right there. Even the knot holes, you can see knot hole there, one off to the side, even one in this far corner, which you can faintly see in this screenshot. Wow, where the ladder formerly was from this angle pointing down. It'd be interesting to wait in this barn and then when someone else walks in, just kick a little hay on them, just like he did to her in the movie. And just to think, a few moments earlier, she was swinging around up there, having a good old time. See that PVC pipe down there? That was a drainage section. And look at the embankment here. You can see some concrete, a wall, a makeshift dam has been built. And they dug out a little trench hole right here, filled it with water from a well, which has been making all that noise at the windmill. Finding a little more concrete. It stretched all the way back to this edge of the property. Look down here, you can even see some remnants. Kind of like a makeshift pool. The dock is kind of off in the distance over that way. So this whole area here was filled with water. How cool is that?
A crazy pipe, drainage pipe that comes out of Crystal Lake.
Nice. It's amazing, all this stuff is just sitting out here in the California sun. I'm just waiting for Pamela Voorhees to pop out at any moment.
Right?
This windmill was not always here. If you watch the movie, you'll notice that they had a little shed in its place. But look down there, that is the dock as pictured here. And there's that little shed where the windmill now stands. It extended out about probably 3 more feet. She was sitting right here. The ground was pushed down quite a ways and the water was there. But let's take a detailed look at the remains that is still sitting out here, just kind of rotting away.
Right.
You have to be careful for snakes, especially this time of year. Lots of insects and slithering creatures. They like to lie in wait under piles of wood like this. It's amazing because this right here in this spot is Friday the 13th history.
Absolutely.
Because this is where Jason Voorhees first showed up in the hockey mask. Right here. Right freaking here. Very tough to make it out through these leaves. But as I pull back, you can get a view of what it looked like back in 1982. Right there, she's just waiting at the end of the dock, which is the same angle that I am right now. There's the dock, right down there.
This is the tube. This tube was off, but this tube, this is for the pump. And this well is from 1922. It's one of the oldest wells in California. And they used it to pump the water from here into Crystal Lake. And with this apparatus here, which was connected over there, if you can see that part, where the PVC comes up.
Yeah. So that's where the water for the lake came from.
Absolutely.
And the shed was over this exact spot where this now stands tall and proud. Wow, another sunburst.
From what I know, this pump will still operate to this day. It will still pump water, and if you look here, it's wet. There's water dripping.
How deep do you think that goes?
Oh, it's got to be a good 50 feet because it's got to go down into the water table.
Now, it's hard to imagine by today's standards, but right here is where she was wading in the water and grabbed his wallet, looked up, and Mr. Voorhees was right here at this angle. Oh my gosh, standing right there between those two poles. Just to give a little perspective, there you have it. The second to the right of the two poles on the dock is where he was standing, and there was a taller wooden pole that protruded up from it, as you can see right there. How cool is that? I'm just waiting for a harpoon to be launched at us.
Right? Right in the eye.
As I stand here and soak in the experience, I start to notice more and more things, like this old dead piece of wood that's sitting here just to the side of the dock. And there it is. Whoa. At the feet of Jason. That's that old dead piece of wood that's still here. And it's been here for 36 years. Would you say that that's awesome?
I'd say that's incredible.
No, would you say it?
I would.
Because it's you get it? Because it's made of, it's a tree. For those that might not know the folklore of how the Friday the 13th mask was given or taken by Jason, it was because Shelley originally had it to play pranks on some of his friends. Here he is looking in the side of the barn window. And there's a few rocks that were built up a little higher back then as he was looking in that very window. And then he wandered around inside the barn, and from then on, the mask was Jason's. I have made it back down into the gully, the proper angle where the bridge was, to recreate the chase scene. And I have applied the proper wardrobe to follow in his footsteps and run along the same path. Let's do this.
Bring, 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 bring. Oh my God, no! Oh, oh. I'm terrified. Ah. Oh. Ah.
The bottom of this dry riverbed, looking this direction, is where he also continued the chase. Straight ahead through the overgrown thicket is where the van was stuck on the bridge, and he busted out the driver's side window with his head and then chased her down this direction. He never stops. He never stops. He continues to run right along here, up this hill, and it appears to be maybe one of the bikers' motorcycles, right? And then jaunts along the side of the barn, straight that way. Chris was hiding across this section of boards, and there's only one, but there used to be two, and she was on top of it and then hopped straight down on top of him. Right about at that angle, you can see the camera was on the ground facing upward, going into attack mode, and the roof, the metal roof, you know, still looks identical. I think I'm gonna climb back up to the loft, open those top doors, and lay from this angle, from up there. Yeah, I think that needs to happen. I need to do that.
Whoa.
All right, which way was he laying?
Okay.
Kind of like this?
Yes. More. Yes. Yes. Right.
Yeah, this is kind of sketchy. After her terror had ended, she walked up to the shore, grabbed a canoe, and tried to have a peaceful moment. Just about here, give or take. You can see the canoe she was resting in, and that conglomerate chunk that almost looks like an island back then, but now just looks like normal landscape. During the dream sequence, near the top of the chimney, over to the left, on what would be the imaginary second floor, was a window that Jason was scratching at. Right there. Look to the right of this printout, you can see the rocks from the fireplace. So the window would have been right up there. Directly below it was that doorway that he busted through, and there are some metal screws that held the wooden stairs in place. And really the best way to match it up, at the far left of this rock wall was where the door was, and those stairs went upward. He's coming for us. He's coming for us with a vengeance. It is amazing to think that he was just gallivanting along right through there. But alas, it was all an illusion. She was safe and sound in that canoe right here until a maggot infested, worm ridden faced Pamela Voorhees. Beware of bees out here. Lots and lots of bees in certain areas. That's a hive inside that wood. Holy cow. There's probably like, I don't even know how many are in there. Oh my goodness, they're like, oh, they're staring at me. He doesn't want anyone partying out here. He's got his hot poker ready, stationed at the fireplace as well. Beware. Beware. Okay, we get it, we get it. You like to and sometimes you like to just please, just go away. Just please, just leave me alone. Should probably tie my shoe. It's like that's where the real danger lies. By having untied tennis shoes out here. That's gonna do it for today. From the filming locations of Friday the 13th, Part 3.
They say weekends were made for getaways, unless the weekend begins with Friday the 13th. Because these are Jason's woods, and no one leaves them alive.
No one? Not even us?
Well, maybe just us. But only for today.
Vlog? Over. Gotta go into town for some supplies. Oh, dang. The bridge is out. Oh, yeah. He wanted me to ask you a question. Did you subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay in the loop for future uploads? And did you give this video a thumbs up? I think it would make him very happy. Make Jason happy. Please. Bonus material if you stuck around to the end of the video. You get to vicariously go inside this shack. Jason? Mother is talking to you! Oh my goodness.
Inside of Jason's lair.
How's it feel to be in here?
Oh, it's pretty creepy, dude. I mean, just knowing Mrs. Voorhees' head was right where you're standing.
Right here?
Man, right there, dude.
What's this now? Is this like dung of some sort? Who knows?
Man.